Grocery shopping just got easier for thousands in Southeast Ohio. And the search continues for a former Cleveland cop on the run. Plus, the Bobcats snatched 3 different MAC Player of the Week titles. Newswatch starts right now.
Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens, this is Newswatch.
Vinton County's food desert is almost gone. Good evening, I'm Michaela Marshall. Thanks for joining us. Vinton County is getting a grocery store after more than 4 years without one. Campbell's Market MacArthur will open tomorrow morning at 10. The store passed its inspections yesterday. Residents would travel an hour round trip just to get groceries. They will now have access to fresh produce and meat. Store owner Rick Campbell says building the store was a struggle at times, but it will be worth it.
I have never done one from the ground up, so it's been quite challenging, but it's been a learning experience, but it's going to make it just that much more worth it, the end product.
Campbell's Market MacArthur will have an official grand opening in December. WOUB will be there, and for the ongoing coverage, follow WOUB on Twitter and Facebook or go to woub.org. Some veggies in Walmart are being recalled. This comes after listeria was found during a random sampling by the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. Now supermarkets across the country and Canada, including Walmart, Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, and Meijer, are taking some man-packing products off their shelves. Man-packing says this recall is out of an abundance of caution, as listeria may cause serious and sometimes fatal infections in young children, the elderly, and others with weakened immune systems. It is especially dangerous for pregnant women, as it may cause miscarriages and stillbirths. At this time, Man-packing says no illness has been linked to their products. The Athens Health Department is monitoring the potential effects that a West Virginia industrial fire may have on Athens Township. People in Little Hawking, just 3 miles away from the torch in Athens County, could reportedly smell the burning plastic scent of fire. The fire broke out at a former Ames tool plant on Saturday. Parkersburg firefighters are still battling the flames. A state of emergency has been declared in the city, and the Red Cross has established a shelter for residents. The city is currently concerned about its water supply and manpower. Extending the Athens Belpre Rail Trail, Athens Conservancy is adding 34 acres of land to the Skunk Run Preserve in Troy Township. The purchase is part of an effort to preserve scenery and connect paths for hikers and bicyclists across Ohio counties. The Conservancy bought the area from its owners using grants from the Clean Ohio Green Space Fund for just under $70,000, its market value. The land, 73 acres total, includes a stream cutting through a gorge with waterfalls, cliffs, a scenic stone tunnel, and a bridge. Board member and product manager John Nauser sees this preserve as a stepping stone toward a bigger project.
You will be able to bicycle from Athens, Ohio to Washington, D.C. and never set foot on a surface street except perhaps to get over the Ohio River. It's really quite something.
This section of the trail is about a 4-mile scenic ride and will include bridges over the stream once the product is finished. The Athens School Board is leaning toward a compromise plan for school building plans. The compromise would call for 3 new buildings. The board voted unanimously last week to eliminate the option of a single campus elementary school for the whole district. Ohio University had offered to donate 8 acres of its Ridges property for the site, but the board deemed the space too small. The board wants to finalize its plans by April 2018 to take advantage of the state offering to cover 32% of new construction and renovation costs. A Nelsonville woman facing felony charges tonight following allegations that she embezzled $80,000 from the Nelsonville York Band Booster account. Anna M. Hemprey has been charged in Athens County Municipal Court with theft and tampering with records. Officials say Hemprey has been stealing from the account since 2014 while serving as the Band Booster treasurer. Hemprey's preliminary hearing is set for October 30th at 2 p.m. Clown sightings are on the rise in Ironton, and it's not just eager trick-or-treaters. Ironton police say they've gotten numerous calls about scary clown sightings, and they say responding to those calls is beginning to stretch their resources thin. Most sightings have been innocent, but one juvenile has been arrested in citing for menacing children. Officials warn, while dressing like a clown is legal, trespassing or threatening people is not. Trick or Treat is in full swing on Ohio University's main campus this evening, and families from surrounding communities are paying a visit to West Green residence halls. WOUB reporter Chelsea Sick is at the event. Chelsea, what's it like out there?
Thanks, Michaela. This is part of a 3-day outreach program the Residence Action Council puts on every year, known as Track or Treat. Each residence hall decorates and organizes a unique trick or treat experience for children of the Athens and surrounding communities. Each day, the events begin at 5:30 and last until 7:30 in the evening. Track or Treat is broken up into 3 evenings. Last night it was on East Green, tonight West Green, and tomorrow's event will take place on South Green. I have Ava here, who has already been to a few residence halls. What's been your favorite part of the night so far, Ava?
Getting trick or treat candies.
What's your favorite candy?
Every good, yummiest candy.
Yeah, do you like chocolate?
Yeah,
Yeah, I do too. What is your costume?
Elsa.
Yeah, is that your favorite movie?
Yeah,
Yeah. All right, well, you look very cute. Thank you so much, Ava.
thanks.
If you missed tonight's event, you can still participate in free trick-or-treating, games, and food. That will take place tomorrow on South Green. I'm Chelsea Sick reporting live from West Green. Jenny, the clouds cleared out of here and the rain is gone. Is that what's going to stick around this evening?
I sure hope so. Good evening, I'm Jenny Grecki and welcome to the Newswatch Weather Center. Yeah, today we had on and off rain showers. Yesterday we had persistent rain that lasted from like 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. I don't know about you guys, but I am sure done with all the rain that we have had recently. And sadly, it may not be out of the forecast, but I will get to that later on during the show. Currently, we are at 49 degrees here in Athens with partly cloudy skies thanks to some of the rain being to the north and south of us, with winds out of the south at 3 miles an hour. Now, we have seen wind gusts occasionally up to 10 to 15 miles per hour, which did make it a little cooler and harder if you had an umbrella, because the umbrella would want to fly away. Right now, looking around the region, we see temps are pretty scattered with 58 in New Lexington, 58 in Cambridge, and 53 down towards Ironton. Going throughout the night, we do see temps will dip down near 42 by 10 a.m. So, Michaela, if anybody plans on going out tonight, they might need a jacket. You won't need the umbrella because the rain showers will subside, but you definitely will need your jacket tonight.
Well, I'm just glad it won't be raining. I'm okay with a little cold. Thanks so much, Jenny. A potential database of violent offenders may only be available to law enforcement. Ohio lawmakers were originally looking to create a database available to the public, but the revised proposal would allow the public access info on offenders only within their home county. The legislation would also require people convicted of violent crimes in another state to register if they visited Ohio for extended periods. A former Cleveland cop facing serious charges is on the run. Tommy Griffin's charges include felonious assault, rape, and kidnapping in connection with an attack on his girlfriend. Following his arrest, police confiscated dozens of weapons from his home. Griffin resigned from Cleveland's police force, and he's been on house arrest since posting bond in March. Police say on Saturday he cut off his GPS ankle monitoring bracelet and disappeared. He was set to go on trial next week, but now U.S. Marshals consider him a dangerous fugitive.
Any fugitive that's on a run, I would encourage anybody in the public to call and not approach. And this case is no different. Do I know he has a firearm now? No, I don't know that. Do I know that he had firearms in the past? Yes, a lot of them.
In February, his attorney argued that he wasn't a risk, citing his 23 years with CPD, no prior felony convictions, and his extensive family ties to the area. Police officers and firefighters in Ohio escorted a fallen officer's remains home yesterday. Hundreds came out to honor Justin Leo and pay their respects. Leo was shot and killed Saturday night while responding to a domestic incident. The man who shot Leo was killed in a shootout with another officer. Yesterday's procession started at the Cuyahoga County Coroner's Office and ended at the funeral home. At least 70 members from law enforcement attended.
Regardless of what patch you wear, we're all brothers and sisters in law enforcement, and to show our gratitude and respect to the ones who have given the ultimate sacrifice.
Coming up, President Trump tweets accusations towards a Republican senator. Plus, questions are still left unanswered after the early October Niger attacks, while President's call to one of the widows creates controversy. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
Hey everybody, I'm Gridiron Glory host Joseph Payton. Every Friday night live at 11:30, we will have a jam-packed show for you with everything that went down on the local gridiron that night. From every touchdown pass to every crushing hit, Gridiron Glory is your #1 source for all things Southeast Ohio football. So please be sure to tune into our show and also follow us on Twitter and Snapchat at Gridiron Glory, and of course like us on Facebook. I promise you won't want to miss out, because remember, there's nothing better than Friday nights and Gridiron Glory.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous. Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, "This is it." And she said, "The tour's just started." I said, "No, you don't understand. This is it."
My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
President Trump traveled to the other end of Pennsylvania Avenue today to pitch his tax reform plan to lawmakers on Capitol Hill. This one with Senator from President's own party, Tennessee's Bob Corker. Trump blasted Corker on Twitter today, accusing him of fighting tax cuts. Corker fired back, once again likening the White House staff to the daycare center, and said the president had a great difficulty with the truth.
I don't know why he lowers himself to such a low standard and debases our country in the way that he does, but he does.
Also told CNN that he would absolutely not support Trump for president if given the opportunity again. Nearly 3 weeks after 4 U.S. servicemen were killed in an ISIS-led ambush in Niger, the call for answers is growing. This as the widow of one of the servicemen killed says she still has many questions about how her husband died. Karen Kaffa has the story from Washington.
I want to know why it took them 48 hours to find my husband.
Maisha Johnson told ABC's Good Morning America Monday that nearly 3 weeks after an ISIS-led ambush in Niger left her husband and 3 other U.S. servicemen dead, she has more questions than answers.
I don't know how he got killed, where he got killed, or anything. I don't know that part. They never told me, and that's what I've been trying to find out since day one, since October 4th.
The Pentagon and the FBI are among those investigating the October 4th attack. The condolence call President Trump made to Maisha Johnson has also been at the center of a political feud. Florida Congresswoman Frederica Wilson, a close family friend, was in the car when the widow put the call on speakerphone. Soon after, Wilson criticized the president's call as disrespectful. That sparked a spat with the White House that continued through the weekend, with the president calling Wilson wacky and a disaster for Dems. Maisha Johnson told ABC News Wilson's account is accurate.
The president said that he knew what he signed up for, but it hurts anyways. And it made me cry because I was very angry at the tone of his voice and how he said it. I heard him stumbling on trying to remember my husband's name. And that what hurt me the most, because if my husband is out here fighting for our country and he risks his life for our country, why can't you remember his name?
The president responded via Twitter Monday morning saying, quote, "I had a very respectful conversation with the widow of Sergeant LaDavid Johnson and spoke his name from beginning without hesitation." In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
Johnson is pregnant and due January 29th with a baby girl. Johnson says she would tell her daughter how much of a hero her dad was. Prototypes for a border wall between the U.S. and Mexico are almost finished. The 8 mock-ups are located in a Border Patrol enforcement zone of San Diego. Most of them push nearly 30 feet tall, mostly composed of concrete and steel. U.S. Customs and Border Protection said each prototype fell below the $50,000 budget. Congress would still need to approve a $1.8 billion budget to officially begin construction. The prototypes are expected to be tested for security at the end of next month.
Will rain chances ever end, plus your Halloween and extended forecast. Meanwhile, here are some stocks of local interest.
Professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open. You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us. Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous. Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, "This is it." And she said, "The tour's just started." I said, "No, you don't understand. This is it."
Hey everybody, I'm Gridiron Glory host Joseph Payton. Every Friday night live at 11:30, we will have a jam-packed show for you with everything that went down on the local gridiron that night. From every touchdown pass to every crushing hit, Gridiron Glory is your #1 source for all things Southeast Ohio football. So please be sure to tune into our show and also follow us on Twitter and Snapchat at Gridiron Glory, and of course like us on Facebook. I promise you won't want to miss out, because remember, there's nothing better than Friday nights and Gridiron Glory.
Welcome back to the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm Jenny Garecki. Due to the mostly clouds and rain showers that we saw today, we only got to about a high of 58 degrees today, which was actually kind of above normal or below normal than we normally have seen in the previous couple days. And our low this morning was at 48, which is actually around normal, give or take a couple degrees. But we didn't hit 23, thank God, but we may actually come close within the next couple days. More on that in a little bit. As we go through the night tonight, we see we will get down to a low of 51 at 8, 45 at midnight, and 42, but you don't see any of those rain chances because they start to diminish as we go on throughout the night. So if you plan on just going out, maybe you're going to a watch party for the World Series, you won't need an umbrella, but you may need a little bit of a jacket because it will get cooler as the night progresses. We will reach a low of 39 degrees here in Athens. As we go farther north, we see 41 in Columbus, as 41 as well in Newark. Tonight in Athens, mostly cloudy. It will be cool tonight, and much cooler than it was this morning. So if you thought this morning was cool, just wait for tomorrow morning when you wake up, step out the door and be like, oh my gosh, this is so cold. We will see winds out of the southwest at 5 to 10, which may make it a little cooler than what it seems like. We do see this low pressure that has been bugging us with rain lately start to move out towards the north and the east going through tonight into tomorrow. So we do see that those rain chances will subside and a very nice high pressure will build into the area. As for tomorrow morning when the kids go out to the bus stop, 39 degrees, you may get a lingering small chance of a shower at the bus stop, but you definitely will need that jacket, maybe a little heavier than you had this morning, with winds out of the southeast at 5 to 10 miles an hour. But we do see we warm up quite nicely as we go throughout the day tomorrow, 48 as around 4 o'clock tomorrow. We do see maybe a few peaks of sunshine as we go throughout the day, but mostly it will be mostly cloudy tomorrow. Around the region, we have a warm spot down here in Ironton at 52 degrees. Otherwise, mostly this area may not even get out of 40 degrees tomorrow. We may not even hit 50. Wow, have we had a big change of events from what we had this previous weekend with 70s. Tomorrow, 49 here in Athens. We may have that few chances of a lingering shower, partly cloudy, but we do see that we do clear out Thursday into Friday thanks to that high pressure coming in. 56 on Thursday, 69 on Friday. We may even hit 70 one last time, so that may be our last break of before fall clearly hits with rain showers this weekend. So looks like it might be a very rainy Halloween weekend. Over to you, Clark, with sports.
Clark Wicks here for sports. Stick around after the break because we have lots to talk about. First, see what new Cavalier Dwayne Wade said to Coach Ty Lue and how it will impact the rest of the team. Also, stick around for a recap of last night's Monday Night Football game. It was a good one between divisional rivals in the Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Redskins. All that and more next on Newswatch. And as always, stay tuned to WOUB. Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
I'm Gridiron Glory host Joseph Payton. Every Friday night live at 11:30, we will have a jam-packed show for you with everything that went down on the local gridiron that night. From every touchdown pass to every crushing hit, Gridiron Glory is your #1 source for all things Southeast Ohio football. So please be sure to tune into our show and also follow us on Twitter and Snapchat at Gridiron Glory, and of course like us on Facebook. I promise you won't want to miss out because remember, there's nothing better than Friday nights and Gridiron Glory.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous. Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, "This is it." And she said, "The tour's just started." I said, "No, you don't understand. This is it."
Welcome back. I'm Clark Wicks, and here are tonight's sports stories. Now, Week 7 of the NFL came to a close last night as the Philadelphia Eagles hosted a divisional rival in the Washington Redskins. Coming in with just one loss, quarterback Carson Wentz and the Eagles were looking to secure the best record in the league with a win, but they got off to a slow start as they led by just one score going into the half. The scoring wouldn't stop as both the Eagles and the Redskins went on to find the end zone in both of the remaining quarters. Despite continuing to put up points, the Redskins fell to the Eagles in a final score of 34-24. And with the best record in the NFL and a league-high 17 passing touchdowns through the first 7 weeks, Wentz has cemented himself as an MVP candidate. With their win, the Eagles now have a 3-game lead in the NFC East. Now, sticking with the Eagles, a few players, including Pro Bowler Malcolm Jenkins, traveled to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania this morning to discuss various bills related to criminal justice reform. The players lobbied for the Clean Slate Bill, which seals the records of misdemeanor nonviolent crimes after 10 years so they can rejoin the workforce. The bill passed unanimously. Now, unlike the Eagles, the Cleveland Browns have the worst record in the league at 0-7, and their season may have gotten worse on Sunday with the loss of 10-time Pro Bowler Joe Thomas. With a torn tricep, Thomas's record of 10,363 consecutive snaps played was broken. The 11-year vet says he will decide if he will return to the NFL during the offseason. Now, speaking of teams that don't win a lot, the Houston Astros are headed to their second World Series in franchise history tonight as they travel to Los Angeles to face the Dodgers. Now, while the Astros have never won a World Series, the Dodgers are looking to win their 7th title, their first since 1988. Here's some history for you. This will be the first time two 100-win teams have faced off in the Fall Classic since 1970. All the action starts tonight at 8 as two Cy Young winners in Clayton Kershaw and Dallas Keuchel take the mound. Now, if baseball isn't your thing, don't you worry, as the Cleveland Cavaliers host the Chicago Bulls tonight at 7 as they attempt to bounce back from a 21-point loss to the Orlando Magic. While the Cavaliers are looking to make it back to the finals for the 4th consecutive season, the Bulls are simply trying to win a game or two after parting ways with Jimmy Butler and Dwayne Wade in the offseason. Now, speaking of Dwayne Wade, the 35-year-old shooting guard has opted to come off the bench tonight and allow J.R. Smith to regain his starting role. According to head coach Ty Lue, this move was from Wade, and after struggling in the first 3 games of the season. Lue and Wade hope the 12-time All-Star will use his veteran presence to provide a spark coming off the bench. Now, moving on to Bobcat sports, 3 Ohio athletes were named MAC Player of the Week yesterday for their impressive performances over the weekend. Freshman volleyball standout Tia Jimerson was named MAC East Player of the Week for the 2nd week in a row after splitting a pair of road matches against Northern Illinois and Western Michigan. Along with Jimerson, Bobcat football players Chad Moore and Louis Zervos were named MAC Players of the Week. Moore, a senior linebacker, recorded an interception and a forced fumble, while Zervos kicked 2 field goals and made all 6 of his PATs in the Bobcats' 48-3 win over Kent State. Now, I'm Clark Wicks, and that is it for sports. Back to you, Michaela.
Thanks, Clark. Cincinnati Zoo's Fiona the Hippo has been a viral sensation since her birth, so it's no surprise that she didn't like sharing the spotlight. Fiona pulled off a feel-good photobomb during a marriage proposal at the zoo. Nick Kelby popped the question to girlfriend Haley Roll in front of the hippo exhibit, and Fiona presided over the proposal. The couple, who are huge Fiona fans, posted the pics online. They said they were happy she could be part of their special day. Now let's check back in with Jenny, for a final look at the weather.
Who doesn't love hippos? That hippo is literally the cutest one ever. Going throughout the night tonight, we see 51 by 8 o'clock, but we do dip down to the low 40s. But as we go out through the day tomorrow, we do seem to warm up, but we won't be warming up quite as much, only to 48 degrees tomorrow afternoon. So we would be kind of lucky if we did get out of the 40s tomorrow, maybe hit 50 if we're lucky. But as we look at Wednesday, we see 49, 56, and you see that 69. We may actually see a little bit warmer temperatures, maybe that last break of summer before we actually get into fall-like temperatures. Saturday, we see 58, so let's say you went trick-or-treating on Saturday night. You will need maybe extra layers because we do see that low dip down to 37, so you will need layers underneath your costume, and maybe even an umbrella because it will be raining. We may even see some snow this weekend. Kayla, what do you think about that?
Well, I sure hope there's no snow. I'm definitely not ready for that. It is still only October, but these temperatures have been all over the board. I will not argue with that. But that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Michaela Marshall. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org. Have a great night.
I'm Gridiron Glory host Joseph Payton. Every Friday night, live at 11:30, we will have a jam-packed show for you with everything that went down on the local gridiron that night. From every touchdown pass to every crushing hit, Gridiron Glory is your #1 source for all things Southeast Ohio football. So please be sure to tune into our show and also follow us on Twitter and Snapchat at Gridiron Glory, and of course like us on Facebook. I promise you won't want to miss out, because remember, there's nothing better than Friday nights and Gridiron Glory.